In 1982, 81-year-old Peggy Goodman lived alone at Tyddyn Angharad, a traditional stone cottage set deep in a remote Welsh valley. She spent her time hiking the local hills and working with the Soil Association to promote organic farming, maintaining a level of physical activity that neighbors noted was rare for someone her age. Her life was defined by stable, predictable routines. She had no history of wandering, no known disputes with her neighbors, and no financial troubles that would suggest a reason to leave. This wasn't a case of a frail resident becoming confused. Peggy was a capable individual who had spent years successfully navigating the demands of an isolated rural lifestyle. On December 19th, Peggy walked into Corwen to buy her regular groceries. Witnesses saw her returning toward her cottage in the late afternoon, looking exactly as she did on any other day. She reached her home, but never finished her day. When neighbors checked the cottage, they found her groceries sitting exactly where she had set them down, with no signs of a struggle. North Wales police and mountain rescue teams established a massive search grid. They utilized helicopters and ground teams to sweep the hills surrounding Tyddyn Angharad. Despite the search, the landscape yielded nothing. No footprints, no clothing, and no remains were located. One of the most thorough rural searches in the history of the region failed to catch a single piece of physical evidence. Peggy Goodman had simply ceased to be. National attention arrived in 1985 when Crimewatch UK reconstructed the disappearance. The program aired the segment alongside the unrelated murder of a local woman, Myfanwy Pugh Jones. While the broadcast generated tips, investigators eventually confirmed there was no evidence linking the two women or their locations. Speculation then shifted to the 1984 murder of Hilda Murrell. Because both held strong anti-nuclear views, theory suggested a political motive behind their disappearances. Investigators found no material evidence connecting the two events, and no records indicated that the women shared the same social or activist circles. Without a physical or documented link, police dismissed the conspiracy as unconvincing. Grand theories often struggle to survive the physical realities of the scene. The fact suggests the answer lies not in national politics, but on the Welsh lane where she was last seen. The isolation of Tyddyn Angharad supports the theory of an opportunistic crime. The cottage had poor road access and few neighbors, providing a window for an attacker to operate without being seen. However, the cottage interior was completely undisturbed. If a crime occurred, it happened outside, leaving the house as a silent witness to a day that ended abruptly. An abduction on a rural path requires a perpetrator to move an adult out of the area in broad daylight. In a close-knit community where a strange vehicle would be immediately noticed, the logistics of such a crime become difficult to sustain. While foul play cannot be ruled out, the lack of tire tracks, struggle marks, or witnesses makes it a difficult theory to prove. This leaves the possibility of an accident. Despite her fitness, the rugged North Wales terrain is unforgiving in December, where a fall could become fatal. To counter this, search teams used highly sensitive tracking dogs and specialized mountain rescue units. These teams scoured the very paths Peggy knew intimately, and they found no gear, no clothing, and no remains. In vast topography, even a large-scale search can miss a body if it is concealed by dense brush or deep crevices. Decades can pass before the environment reveals what it has hidden. A tragic accident remains the most logical conclusion, but after 44 years of searching, the total absence of a single recovered item remains the central flaw in the case. The case remains open and cold. No new physical evidence has emerged since the mid-1980s, leaving Peggy Goodman's file exactly where it was 40 years ago. The isolated landscape that gave her a sense of independence and vitality is also what facilitated her disappearance. Her story is a reminder of the vulnerability inherent in rural living. A person can step out of a mundane routine, a grocery trip, a walk home, and never return. Despite our modern efforts to track and record every movement, the hills can still hide the truth. Peggy Goodman walked toward her home in 1982 and into a void that has yet to be filled.